go back to Qatar again. I don't think there is reason for me to go there.
No elevator? See? I spent about dirhams. Guess we shall begin. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Din. I hope you guys are doing great. Yes, you guys have been clickbaited. Yeah, I have not been paid by the Qatari government or anyone to be a fan. However, I did pay quite a bit of money to be at the World Cup. So I'll be going through how much I paid, whether it was worth it, how the World Cup was, how was the experience, and pretty much all about the World Cup since it's almost the final. So how much I spent for the World Cup? I spent about 17,000 dirhams to go there. 17,000 dirhams is about like 4,500 US dollars, which includes the accommodation, the flight, and 3 match tickets, with one of the match tickets being of the team that I support, which was England. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. In fact, I was a bit disappointed with a couple of things. I mean, not a couple of things, few things. And this is not me taking a shot at the country Qatar. It's not me taking a shot at the people of Qatar. It's just how the tournament was run. And I think they could have done a lot better because they did spend 20 billion or 200 billion. I still forget which zero it is, but they spent quite a lot of money. For me personally, I didn't feel like that money was well invested. And this video pretty much is gonna be about my experience at the World Cup. So like I said, it was 17,000 dirhams around there. And it included obviously the return flights from Dubai, 6 nights stay in an accommodation, which we'll get to in a bit, and then the 3 match tickets. The 3 match tickets were category 2 tickets, which cost about 600 Qatari riyals each. So in total, that's like 1,800. Now the accommodation was for 6 nights, and that was the most expensive thing. Even if I had not bought this package from Qatar Airways, it would have cost me quite a bit. However, when I got there, I realized each night is worth 700 Qatari riyal. Times 6 would be about 4,200, or let's say 4,500. So that's how much it cost me to book the accommodation separately. So now we got 4,500 Qatari riyal worth of accommodation and 1,800 worth of match tickets. So the remaining, I don't know, close to 12,000 should go for the flight tickets. Now, yeah, people will be saying, yeah, but flights are so hard, it's difficult, all the flights were booked. However, when I was at the airport, when I was going from Dubai to Doha, my flight was not booked. In fact, my flight was the only flight to Doha, and I was really surprised. But I thought, like, you know, maybe it might be the shuttle service and maybe my flight would be booked. Yet again, my whole flight was pretty much empty. It might have been in like 80% capacity. I was like, this is the World Cup. This is like literally the country right next to the World Cup. And I got my whole seat empty. Could choose where I want to sit. Even the airport, when I got to Hamad International Airport, it was quite easy to like maneuver around the airport. I gotta give props to the airport because I know that my flight was empty or like wasn't in full capacity. However, the immigration process and all that was super well done, and I have to give hats off to Doha International Airport because yeah, it was very smooth because there were other flights flying in from all over the world, and to accommodate all that many passengers, funnel them through the immigration system was quite easy, quite systematic, pretty much automated. And it was done well. So kudos to the Qatar airport for actually maintaining that. Even though I spent a lot of money buying the package from the Qatar Airways, I thought maybe I could check in early since I'm staying there for 6 nights. However, I decided to show up there around 12 p.m., 1 p.m.-ish. They did mention that check-in was at 3 p.m., but I just thought, you know, maybe I'll go in and see how the place is and stuff. This was my experience when I got there. All right, I feel like I came to Qatar when everyone's sleeping. It's like entering a party when it's the least crowded. The airport's right there, so I can assume that there's gonna be a lot of noise at night. But anyways, we made it. Hopefully I can check in early. So this is my scene. 1 phone for any resale tickets, 1 for my check-in. Almost there, 100, less than 100 now. Then the match.
8:01 p.m.
Counter number 6.
I spent like 4 hours here. Actually no, 6 hours here. And I'm finally down to the last person. Next is me. Finally. So yeah, it was quite a long walk. The metro was so far from the actual fan village, which I actually saw while I was in the flight, but I thought that might not be mine. And I was just like, gosh, that is gonna be a problem every day. because I'm there for like 7 days, and every time I need to go somewhere, I need to walk all the way to the metro station. Now, obviously, there were fake taxis, not that fake taxi, but like fake taxis or fake cabs where people would be like, hey, do you want a cab? Do you want a cab? Because in UAE, that's illegal, and I don't know how it is in Qatar, but and obviously reading all those rules and regulations in Qatar, I thought, let's just stay away from them. Anyway, so I got there, I was trying to check in, and guess what? I had to wait about 7 hours to check in because there was a lot of people and they were short-staffed. Kind of the theme of this whole video and my experience in Qatar, because I felt like a lot of things were badly managed for a big event like the FIFA World Cup. Finally, I checked into my accommodation, and while I was checking in, now my room, I knew that it's gonna be a container, although a very well furnished container. Beds were not the best comfortable beds, however it did look like a room. You saw my pictures, like you can't tell I'm living in a container. Although the washroom was super poor and not clean at all, there was not much of like house maintenance or anything like that. I did call them a couple of times to clean, but no one came until like the 3rd day. But you know what, I was like, I got to be at the World Cup, you know what, let's just enjoy, you know, hopefully the other things could get better. So yeah, so I did go to the games. The games were great, I have to say. The games that I saw were absolutely fantastic. And in fact, the FIFA World Cup till this point, to this group stages, was actually incredible. I was enjoying it so much. All the games were pretty, like you never knew what's going to happen in the group stages, who's going to finish first, second. Morocco, a surprise package, Saudi beating Argentina, Japan doing heroics against Germany, and I was like, oh my god, this could be the best World Cup. That was my initial experience. There's a bit of challenges, but I was still like rushing through it. I was like, you know what, it's fine. You know, tomorrow is match day, so I went for my first game on Monday, the second game on Tuesday. Another issue I felt in Qatar was the connectivity issues. The communication infrastructure wasn't the best. They did give us free SIM cards when I was at the airport. I didn't get to choose which SIM card I could get because there was one SIM card by Vodafone that was like for 2 days. You get 3 GB, and the other one, the local brand, for like 3 days but less GB. I just wanted less GB for more days so that my SIM could be active. However, I just didn't have any option. This one guy just scanned my hire card and gave me a SIM card. So I had like a SIM card that's valid for 2 days. Now, if I want to get more data in it, I had to pay around, I think, $25 for like 7 days. And I was just like, that's a bit expensive. Considering you're hosting a World Cup, you are like the richest country in the world. This is just like a marketing like for Vodafone or their local service. So yeah, the internet was not that great. It wasn't as accessible, neither in the metro nor in the fan village. The fan village internet was super poor. It took me like, it was uploading in like 200 KB per second. So all my YouTube videos I had to like put for upload and have to sleep and then wake up, and I would still have like an hour remaining to upload on YouTube, like a 1.5 GB file. So you can imagine how awful it was to actually use the internet. The internet keeps getting cut as well. It was such a problem everywhere, not just in my fan village. Like even in the malls, the internet wasn't that great, probably because of traffic. However, even in the metro, it wasn't that great, even in early morning when I'm like the only person in the station. But you know, we made do, we survived. So speaking of metro, when I was in the metro and when I was moving from fan village or from the stadium to another place, another game was going on and I had no idea what the scores were. Unlike in Russia and unlike in many other cities, they just didn't show the games anywhere else apart from these dedicated fan zones, which was a bit of a shock because no one, like I remember in Russia, like even the metro TVs, like the small displays, they showed the game live. They broadcasted it live. You would see the game on like a big building or like anywhere, or at least like the score updates and stuff. Whereas in Qatar, you would not know what game is going on, what the score is, and anything unless you are on your phone or you see someone celebrating a goal from their phone. It's a $20 billion worth of World Cup, and you should have probably realized, like, yeah, people who are not in the games, not in the fan zone, would want to know about what's happening in your city. And then we come to the event management. Now, the stadiums, the staff were good. They did manage the crowd well to a point, I would say. They did a good, decent job. The problem I have is I was in a place like at 2 a.m. and you would see all these zigzag lines that were made to like help with the crowd management when it gets crowded. I still had to walk through the zigzag line because they would not remove the fences. Like it's just like literally removing 2 of those fences or barricade or whatever. I'm like at 2 a.m. I'm like the only person there, and they're like, no, you still have to walk like a maze. Like I'm being punished for some reason. And that was the case in multiple areas. I was like, I'm a lab rat or something. Guys, it's 2:30 a.m. The metro's about to close. I'm like, me and like 2 other guys are the only ones there. There was like an old lady as well, and they're like, no, this is the policy, you had to do this. Gosh, these guys were not trained properly. They're just following orders like they are robots. See how many steps I've taken in Qatar. It's unbelievable. Obviously, yeah, I was living in the middle of a desert, so if I want to go anywhere, I had to walk like 2,000 steps to the metro station. So 2,000, that's 4,000 steps a day for me to get out of the fan village and go anywhere once.
Actually, we gotta go all this way. It's like at 3 a.m. and they didn't have the brains to properly make an exit. This is like, I don't know, like basic management 101. Can I take the elevator? No elevator? See? Poor management. Absolute poor management.
Then obviously all this would count for like another 1,000 unnecessary steps. So there was just like a lot of unnecessary walking. I didn't mind it because I was like, yeah, you know what, work hard, lose weight, whatnot. But I mean, at 2:30 a.m. and you're trying to catch like the last metro, and these guys are literally making you walk in a maze. That was absolutely pathetic. It was poor management, I would say. I can't help it. Like, I thought like they could have done better with it. And especially for the older people. Like for me, yeah, fine. But if I was with my mom or my dad, and if they asked me to do all that, I would have literally been like screaming at them. Speaking of management, another problem I had was the waste management. Barely any waste bins or dustbins or trash cans, whatever. Even in like the streets, in the city, in the metro station, even in the stadium, I struggled to put my trash somewhere because the trash cans were so scattered. Like the whole big metro building would have like 1 or 2 dustbins.
There are not that many trash cans in the city, you know, especially like in the metro station. Like if you have trash, you're gonna have to hold on to it for so long until you find a dustbin or a trash can. I mean, it's a World Cup, and you know, like everyone's gonna be here, and they could have put in more trash cans and stuff, but I found that to be like a big issue over here, especially since it's been like 3-4 days, and it's common like throughout, like even in the fan villages as well, fan parks, metros, yeah, just name it. Everywhere there's like less trash cans for some reason. See, just an exhibit right now. This whole like walking way, you would see not a single dust can, like a trash can. Oh, I keep saying dust can.
There were people who were there to pick up the trash. So I'm like, instead of hiring people for obviously cheap labor, just put more trash cans. People will put their trash in the trash can. So yeah, that's there. So these were some of the issues that I faced. It was not like the best experience because towards the end, if I'm being brutally honest, I just wanted to get back to Dubai because I had enough of this place. I was walking way too much for no reason. There was just so much inconvenience in Qatar. Although the World Cup was done well, I enjoyed my time out there. As a city like Doha, I felt like wasn't prepared for the World Cup for the money they apparently spent, and that was such a big turn off. And there were a few other issues as well, which obviously I'm not going to talk much in detail. So if you have seen my vlogs in the early days, I was like super happy and joyful in my Instagram stories, and later on I was more like, I just want to get out of here. That was now about the Qatar World Cup. Did they deserve to host it? Seen both sides of it. To be honest, I'm more in the fence, but hear me out. There are a lot of things that I think has been done by Western media to scrutinize this World Cup. Absolutely 100%, and I can't defend that part of it. Also, secondly, I feel like it is time for the Middle East or like the Arab nations to host the World Cup, because the World Cup should be hosted in different climate, in different cultures, like we had in South Africa, we had in South America, we had in Eastern Europe. Before that we had in Germany, that was like Western Europe. We had in the USA. I don't know if we had in Australia. We didn't have in Australia. We need to have one in Australia. It was time for the Middle East to get a bid. How they got the bid and all that, yes, we've seen the Netflix documentary, Johnny Harris's video and all that, but I still feel like it was needed in the Arab world, although there could have been other countries in the Arab world that could have been better hosts. For example, the United Arab Emirates. Now, they had an opening ceremony, poorly lip-synced and all that, and obviously they said they want to take care of the human rights issues. I have to say, I did speak with some of the people that were working in the fan village, because a lot of them were from my state in India, from Kerala, so it was easy for me to communicate with them. This is a bit of the sad truth. They were getting paid 900 Qatari riyal for like a 12-hour shift a month. They said they were doing internships there as hospitality students. They were trying to get experience in their resume and whatnot, absolutely fine. But to do 12-hour shifts and getting paid 900 Qatari riyals to like clean the washrooms and change the beds and towels and all that, I felt bad. Like that, this was more towards the end of my trip, so it was kind of like a realization like, oh my gosh, these people are struggling. Now I know there are some people who will be like, yeah, but they'll be earning more than what they make in their hometown. But that's another issue. If you are like one of the richest country, if you are splurging so much cash on building this beautiful stadium, I felt like they could have done a lot better with the workforce development. From hearing people like from my state speak about like how much they're getting paid, some of them didn't even get paid from the Arab Cup, which was surprising. They said, or they were like promised that they would get paid, but then they just didn't get paid. And yet these people still come in and do the work. And I can't force anyone to like what is right, what is wrong, but I still felt like for all that they say, and I don't know, I hope Qatar would take better action in the future. But if not, FIFA, which is again a very corrupt organization by itself, FIFA should not be hosted in such country. But overall, the FIFA World Cup, it was a bit of a life-changing experience for me, because obviously like I got to go to my second World Cup, I got to watch England play, but I just felt like first of all I got robbed by Qatar Airways for spending that much money. Basically, so if I were to take my total out, I would be paying about 12,000 for this flight in Qatar Airways, which off-peak season it might cost like about 1.5 thousand. It ended up being like 12,000 Qatari riyal, somehow distributed amongst the accommodation and the match ticket. Fun fact about the match ticket, I said I was an England fan, I wanted to watch an England game. However, they put me in the Wales stand, so I was with a lot of Welsh fans around me. Luckily, I had one English guy sitting next to me with his dad, and it was fine, but that was also wrong. So overall, I have to say I did get to watch a really good game. I did have a great experience at the Fan Fest. I did see pretty much I did see all the fans from all 32 nations. It was good to mingle with a lot of the Saudi fans, Morocco fans, and the Americans that I interacted with. They were just vibing and enjoying their time out there. And I also got to make a lot of friends in Qatar. So overall, I did enjoy the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar. As Qatar City hosting it with all the event management stuff, not really. It was a bit of like a punishment at times of me being there, like without the internet, a lot of walking, holding your trash for a really long time. It wasn't like the most pleasant experience. Would I go back to Qatar again? I don't think there is much reason for me to go there. So with all that being said, that is my opinion on the Qatar World Cup, and hope you guys liked this video. Hope you guys found it informative. If you do have any more questions about Qatar or my time there for the World Cup, do let me know in the comments below, and yeah, it'll be nice to interact with you guys. I know this is a bit of a long video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it till the very end. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to see more of my content. I might be putting like a Qatar travel vlog kind of a video on the things that I saw there, so do check it out. Until then, take care guys, I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully I didn't offend anyone. I tried to be as unbiased as possible, so if I did offend you, do let me know in the comment below, so maybe you can have a chat and maybe I can get my point to you better. I don't know. Anyways, see you guys on the next one. Take care and peace.